The David Pakman Show at davidpakman.com.
Welcome to the show. So much news to talk about. The huge breaking worldwide story, of course, the birth of Kim Kardashian's. I can't even get through it. I can't even pretend like that we would present that story, Lewis, as breaking news.
No, it's not news. It's not a good day for mankind.
We do have serious news in terms of Edward Snowden. I don't even know where to start. So initially we had a report that Edward Snowden had left Hong Kong and was on his way to Moscow, Russia. The idea was that he would be going there accompanied by at the very least, WikiLeaks attorney Harrison, and eventually would make his way potentially to Cuba, Venezuela, Iceland, or Ecuador. As more information was released, it seemed that Ecuador or Venezuela were his ultimate destinations and that he may be passing through Cuba. Ultimately, it did not pan out because, as far as we now know, he never boarded the flight from Moscow to Havana, Cuba. It is unclear where he is. Presumably he is within Russia, although maybe the idea was maybe it's like you see in the movies sometimes where he buys a ticket to Havana under his name and then under another name gets onto a flight going somewhere else, right? Maybe it's a distraction. Maybe he has been seized by Russian authorities. Maybe they say, hey, we don't want to extradite you to the U.S., but what we do want is we want to copy all those NSA documents you've got. So come with us and then we'll let you go. It's unclear what's happening right now. We just don't know.
Yeah, strange situation. I'm sure a lot of people are interested in what he has and what he knows.
Before he left Hong Kong, federal prosecutors from the U.S. filed a criminal complaint against Edward Snowden, and they charged him with theft, unauthorized communication of national defense information, and willful communication of classified communications intelligence information to an unauthorized person. According to the complaint, it's a mouthful, but what you need to know is that those last two charges were brought under the 1917 Espionage Act. Each charge carries a sentence of maximum of 10 years if convicted. Snowden is the 8th person to be charged under the Espionage Act under President Obama for leaking information. That is more than under all previous presidential administrations combined under the Espionage Act for leaking information. I will make that clear. Do you believe that he will make it, Lewis, ultimately to Ecuador, Venezuela, or wherever his destination is, or that it may be cut short in Russia?
I don't think so. I think he will. I'm sure he'll eventually end up where he wants to go.
I have two thoughts on this.
I can't imagine Russia taking him, seizing him. It just doesn't seem like the smart move.
One thing I've been thinking of is he said initially he had no intention of avoiding the justice from the United States, but of course that runs counter to going to Hong Kong in the first place and now leaving Hong Kong after he has been charged by the U.S. and going to other countries. To me, that seemed not. I would be doing the same thing, but he does seem to be trying to evade justice in the United States. But also his concern, the reason for releasing these NSA documents was his concern over lack of civil liberties, and certainly in considering Cuba or Venezuela, at least, going to places that don't have a particularly good record on civil liberties and openness and having honest government. I mean, for all of the good things that progressives like to talk about Cuba, and I believe we should not have, I believe that we should have trade with Cuba. Cuba is what happened to those elections back in the 50s that they were going to have. That we're still waiting around for those. And of course, Venezuela. I've talked extensively about civil liberties and human rights problems in Venezuela. So, is that an inherent contradiction, Natan?
Well, I don't know. I mean, if Edward Snowden thinks that he's going to get a better system of justice in Caracas, good luck.
Yeah. Okay. Well.
Yeah, I wouldn't call it a contradiction. I mean, he's in a situation where he's just got to go where he's got to go.
Maybe that's what it is.
Yeah.
Cuba, Ecuador, and Venezuela, not exactly free press there, but he has limited options now.
Right.
No question.